Hello there, collective. Good morning. My name is Kim. Welcome to my channel, 5 Mirror Tarot. Oh, look at this. Wait until you all see this. Good morning. Oh, first we're going to start with the challenge because we've been studying that one, haven't we? And then we've got, oh no, that's the this damn song stuck in my head from the coronavirus, where we watched videos and they would speed up this song, I guess, for the copyright. But it was like this, oh no, oh no, 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 no. That is your narcissist. The star fairy, we're going to get into in a second. But this is the environmental awareness. Miss, I've got a divine feminine who you're very aware of what's going on in your environment, and you got your narcissist on the ropes. You did it. You're on your way, and your narcissist's darkest hell broke loose, and you did that. And it was revealed. This was publicly. Now then, this is a channeled message. It's not for everyone, but you will know energetically if this tarot enhanced oracle reading is for you. We're using the Froud, F-R-O-U-D. I love the Froud. That's a wonderful energy. It's tied to my Celtic roots. The little wee folk, the fairies. You did your shadow work. You cleaned up a karmic soul contract with a distorted partner. You switch it around. I could be talking to a divine masculine who's really in tune with your divine feminine. The divine is rewarding you, sending you into a metamorphosis, exalting your soul's growth. But the narcissist is being gossiped about. That's the irony. Their darkest secrets are publicly revealed. Well, they're pretty much showing their true they're showing their hand. Not keeping anything close to their vest. And the irony here is what they're doing to themselves is delicious. You're not crooking your finger. You aren't getting revenge. It's just, as you discovered what they were doing, you saw the big picture. You were able to step back from it. You spoke your truth, which is the environmental awareness. They would have wanted you to do this one-on-one, but you saw the opportunity, everything fell into place. Now, I think for some of you, you're rolling in some kind of corporate, or I think it's a family-run business, that you've been running this business for generations, and you created generational wealth, or at least your narcissist family did. Or your narcissist married you, miss, because of your family's wealth, because of your family's station in the community, providing a lot of work for a lot of people. Let's see, I smell green. Would you like red or green chili with that? It could be that you, it's a family-run franchise, a high, it's not like Taco Bell. It's a high, 5-star carne ardovita, tostada con puesto, chili relleno, carnitas, chimichangas. That's a rich business with the people that your narcissist installed. See, I think he married you, miss, for the money. Well, that means if this isn't like a blood family, well, then you've come together as a family. It's your jobs. And so this is playing out in public. And that is the narcissist's worst nightmare, is for that to happen. Now then, let me get over here now. This is going to be the divine masculine side energies. This is the divine feminine energy. So this is the wisdom side, being receptive. And this is the taking action. How you doing? How are you doing this fine day? Isn't it beautiful? Yeah, let me put that up there. Now the star fairy energy was over here in the feminine. All the rest of this was over here in the masculine and how to take action. And for my meditation, they gave me, this is from the Fraud. It's a different deck. This is the Heart of the Fairy. It's Wendy. And see, I couldn't show you that card. This is Self-Reliance. I can't show you that because it's a fairy. But her message is self-reliance. Miss, before you were so scared to do anything, you were afraid that if you faced this person, now this could be a family member, but Miss, I think this is an intimate partner. Oh, thank you, Holy Spirit. Yeah, they're showing you both. You know, it's really hard to work with someone you're married to. You know, that's just a bit much. But you can see now that you're happy under the circumstances that it played out this way. This is Sari the Fairy. And what she does is she brings grace. You brought a gracious vibration. The way you handled this, your adversary in this case was counting on you being unmoored, counting on you coming undone, counting on you being destabilized and not knowing what to do, to the point, and this is where the gaslighting was coming in, wanted you to come to them. I'm the only one who can fix this. I'm the only one who can. No, that's what they want in order to keep hiding and doing whatever it is that they're doing behind the scenes here. She comes in when it's awkward. We never wanted to have to face what this has come to a head to be in. So she's like Sari the fairy godmother. Bibbidi bobbidi boo, you stepped in to grant specific gifts of grace in order to your charisma stood the test of time with the rest of the family members or employees or whatever it is you have going down. She's offering the gift of wisdom. So this is from the divine feminine energy. Dipping that toes, little fairy toes in that pool. She stands there with you and gives you little, like, popping little chalkies, little chocolates in your face. A little sweetie that sweetened your disposition when you were ready to spit some thumbtacks, and then your adversary would have gotten exactly what they wanted. So you owe a debt of gratitude to Sari the fairy. She's right there with you. she comes in when it's uncomfortable. And our egos usually come into it. Ooh, now we're going to rumble. And she's saying, no. No rumble. I am lending you the gift of grace. In a way, you're doing a self-love practice and hopes by example that this adversary, you proved one thing, your mother raised you right, collective. Now then, self-reliance. You're your own best friend right now, and you can provide for yourself emotionally and physically when you run rings around them publicly in some kind of big event. Whatever your service is, there was a big event and they kept showing their true colors. Here, let's put Sari down here. Now then, sometimes we feel frightened and we want to get reassurance. Well, that's what Sari the fairy's for. She's grace on tap. Some of you are trying to get reassurance from this toxic tyrant that everything's going to be all right. But now you can see that they're not going to change, and they're getting ready. They're getting ready to, thank you, Holy Spirit, to scapegoat you, miss, during this event, and your inner wisdom, you caught on. That's what that first card was, being in your environment, being aware of what's going on around you. You could feel it in the air, it's all prickly. You can rely on yourself and your spiritual gifts to manifest all that you need in your life. When dealing with this, you didn't fall for the bait. Although your manifestations are the energy of spirit that often funnels through other people, you know that you're supposed to be, in a good way, you're supposed to be teaching them a lesson. You are their karma, in other words. So, the fairy star, or the star fairy, that you're multidimensional. That's why you could feel the prickliness in the air. That's your spirit team all around you. Give us permission. Give us permission. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I am the mighty, powerful Wizard of Oz. Quake with fear, you tiny fools. Okay, you can smell it in the air. It's all prickly. You know that this is the energy work that goes on around you before you're gonna be scapegoated by this. I think it's family member. I think you're married to him though, miss. You're powerfully and profoundly, magically. This is a self-love energy that you told your ego to go sit down over there because you know yourself. You've got Sari the fairy standing there holding your hand and feeding you little bits of grace. Nourishing your self-esteem, your self-respect, and your integrity. Things that your narcissist only pretends to have. I do believe this is a masculine energy, or like I said before, it could be Mamacita. It could be that she's a powerful woman that you're going up against. Got it? I think it's a man, and I think you're married to it. Or God help you, miss, if this is your mother or an older sister who stepped in, maybe because something happened to mom early. I'm so sorry. But divine masculine and divine feminine, you flip these energies around. But miss, I think I'm talking about you. Harnessing your environmental awareness. Oh no. I said the next time that you try to set me up this way, I'm going to pidge, I'm going to stool, I'm going to start telling. See, those are the darkest secrets publicly revealed. And you're not doing it in a mean-spirited, malicious way because you're speaking your truth. This is what I experienced harm at the hands of that person. Okay. What's the next one? Star Fairy's energy is an elven star vibration. Okay, the Smith is elven. The captive man is elven. That's Tamlin. Being Queen of Fairies. Queen of Fairies fell in love with Tamlin. Was going to keep him forever and offer him up as some kind of tithing to HE double hockey sticks, right? Nonsense. And then along came this maiden, Janet, to Carter Hall, and she plucked one of his roses. And he said, "That's my rose," and told how he became captive. Many tales in Celtic mythos. Well, this is an elven, this isn't an earth energy. It's usually lush and rich. Like when it's beneficial, that's like Dobby from Harry Potter, who got free because that snotty rich man, Malfort, had Dobby as his little house slave, and then Harry Potter gifted him a sock and attributed it to that man so that Dobby could be free and not be misaligned and abused for just being a creature, for being an energy, doing what he was supposed to be doing. The ones that are wretched, like the red caps, these are part of the elven that are not. They're kind of a little misanthropic in their vibration, just a little bit. But the star fairy energy is an elven star vibration. This is a bright symbol for appropriate connections. Everyone in that room is going to be listening when you open a can of whoop ass on your narcissist. This is a bright symbol for an appropriate connection that's now evolving. The reason you're able to out this very toxic element, energy, person, place, or thing now, is because once you deal with this, you've completed some kind of a karmic contract. You did the work that person, is why they're being outed in the public. All of it. Because see, you start, and then more family members or workers, or both now. Yeah, that's right, you did that to me too. You scapegoated me like you're trying to scapegoat butterfly gal over here. That's you, collective. Your butterfly. Your transformation, your metamorphosis of your soul is just everyone, by your example, speaking your truth, stepping up and saying, you scapegoated collective, and then you did it to me, you've done it to, and we're family. We're flesh of your flesh and bone of your bone, some of you. This is a collective reading. Now the Smith, the Smith is tied to, he was this hideous little, he made all of the lightning bolts and weapons for Olympus and for Zeus. And he was actually married to Venus. So that's why the Smith card is up here. That is this narcissist, Miss. I think you're married to him. And here's the hope for you and everyone involved. There it goes. The hope. The Smith went off to go and make some swords. He was hammering out the hilt to a very fancy sword. So we'll pick him up in a minute. I pretty much read his energy. Hope. You're speaking your truth, and others are supporting you in it. This is the shadow of the past. I remember you did this 10 years ago. You did this 5 years ago, way back when we started. You were the one that did this to all of us when you made that stupid rule up. And we've tried to change it, and we've been suffering ever since. We're not doing it anymore. So everyone starts talking about the shadow of the past in the hopes that we thought something would change. Yeah, then. A lady of the forest is a divine feminine vibration. It embodies a new start, a birth and a rebirth to restore. All of them started waking up. That's why I'm saying this was public. Now then, we're using the mirror, mirror tarot technique. This means today's divinations are blended. We're using the Froude Oracle, both of them actually. We're using the Dion, is it Doreen Virtue? Yeah, we are. That's where the environmental awareness card came from. And the self-reliance card I can't show you. Look inside yourself. You looked inside yourself and you couldn't be quiet, miss. This is from the Froude. Geo, the slow. This energy was the way you did it. You were on your way. You started simply, and one thing like dominoes falling just fit into place. They were mortified, scared. You all had never seen this person so quiet. Usually they just start lashing out. Well, we're going to get to that too. But this right now is going to become a reflection of the viewer's inner state. That's you, collective. And it resonates with thoughts and emotionally and energetically, because I never want to predict the future in a deterministic, where I just, set all the cards up and know what everything's going to be. What's the fun in that? If I turn that camera on, they're like, I do not know what the Bible verse is going to be when we get to the using one. Sometimes it's more than one verse. Depends on what Holy Spirit needs that information to get out. But all of these are being blended together. This is the mirror, mirror tarot technique to predict the future. What's the fun in that if I already know what's going on here? I go into a meditation. This reading is potential outcomes are going to be based on what your current energies are in the here and now, And I look at the past and I can look at the future, but also what's going on unconsciously in your belief systems while you click on my videos. And I love you for that. We're examining oracles and tarot and other divination. We do it every day and we have fun. Every viewer can gain insights into being allowed to identify areas to target for more personal or spiritual growth, or both, but still. Use your own intuition, please. We would be flattered, all we who have platforms. Oh, we'd be tickled pink that if you took our words to heart to make all of your decisions. No, we want you to use your intuition while you're listening to us, is how it's supposed to work. Use your discernment. Do not make life decisions, important decisions based on something you saw on. Got it? I want you to make conscious choices to influence your inner world and then move forward on your path so that you grow comfortable trusting your intuition. Now, Mystic Rose says that the mirror work using the tarot as a mirror, it's like a tool. We're also using Bible divination. It's from the turn of the last century, late 1800s. Well, before that, also late 1700s. They didn't have social media or TVs or anything. Tarot cards were the in thing. Many monasteries, that did calligraphy and stuff, they made cartomancy is what it was called. Those little monks were sitting there making the tarot cards for the royalty and wealthy people. So what's being reflected? What does the collective need to know? That's why we do this. For this morning's channeled messages, may our soul family see all that you need to see while you're here. We lay everything out on the table. I lay those cards down for you to read. Do you get the message I'm laying down on that table for you to read? That's why we're here. We're reflecting past, present, and future dealings, aspects of the collective, whole collective consciousness. We're going to tap into you. We're going to tap into the good and the bad energies that exist. The duality. There's no separation between good and evil. There's not. They're energies. They all come from the same source. It's what you do with that energy, isn't it? You're ready to read and to tell your truths and be seen, miss. That's what I saw in my visualization. You did it. You're on your way. While you're toxic is stewing in regret. Toxic is crying in his or her beer. Stewing in regret. Congratulations. Now then. The hope and the Lady of the Forest. That's birth and rebirth to restore hope. The shadow of the past. And the Star Fairy together and the Lady of the Forest. Now this is an otherworldly self-love that you're generating in your own skin now. Miss. Because you are finally doing what you are doing here. You caused an energy shift and now you've been rewarded for attracting in divine love higher, like a soulmate that's really high tier. Some of you, it could be a twin flame energy with a soul flame or a soul mate. And I only see a sliver of you. Did you see that? Uncross your legs, Kim. You're jamming up our gig here. This is balanced from a 3D and anchored authentically. Nobody will lower their standards in fear for each other. This is the new love coming in. It starts with you in your own skin, having your heart space open to yourself, your most authentic self. Nobody, not even you, will lower your standards in fear. But now, you're being rewarded, and they're being rewarded by attracting you in. This is for each other's self-love and self-care, because love conquers all. I feel this energy further solidifying a stronger connection to a vibrant orbit of life-affirming energies. Some of you that I'm reading for the Divine Feminine here, you're like 40, 50, 60. You're not into it to be married. You have your inner peace. You're pretty much consigned to being alone. You're looking forward to that next step. Because some of you are transitioning away from it. If you are working and marrying with someone, and I saw this during the meditation, for some of you, And you didn't do this maliciously, it just turned out this way, but that narcissist is going to say you did this like this on purpose. No, you are strong enough. If you are married and you work in the same, that means you did not know they were going to be served for divorce. So that's going to be the ultimate embarrassment and shame for your narcissistic one. If it's a family member, then you're saying to let's say your parent is the CEO or the head honcho, then you're giving your notice, and that you're probably taking a bunch of people with you to go where you've already looked into and set things up. You're just not going to make yourself homeless or something, right? That you're telling that parent, in essence, I'm divorcing you. I'm not going to live from my cradle to my grave under your thumb anymore. It's over. But I'm still miss. It's very hard to be married, but to start a business or be in a business or to run a business is just too much. That's not realistic. And you loved yourself enough to see that. I feel a stronger connection to a vibrant orbit. You're in a whole different orbit. And you're smiling quietly to yourself. Pick up your ears, listen to what is really being said. And you are able to, okay, now they're going to blast me with this. And before they could gear up, get and jockey in position, you quelled it. You took all the wind out of their sails. They couldn't do what they do. And then when they would try another maneuver to block or to control, other people stepped in and said, no, that's what you always do. You're not doing that to collective. We're not going to let you do that to collective. So you can clearly read between the lines, and it's a gift. I think secretly they wanted to step up maybe for decades, these other people. But it was how are they going to be punished? Narcissist is equal opportunity awful if they're a narcissistic person. They'd have to be a narcissist to do the behaviors. The challenge is Tink, and it's not Tinkerbell, it's Tink. Tink is a tough little in the crowd. You do not mess with Tink. That was everyone standing behind you. Do not mess with collective is telling our truth too. And then they'd start speaking their truth to this tyrannical draconian power. Now then, the challenge in Maleficent, all the Maleficent movies now you remember. Disney almost got it right. She was burned by her and Diaval in the first one. She was lacing her way through these spiky, it was cold iron is what burned her. Hot iron doesn't bother the fairies as much as cold iron. And that's what your spine was to your narcissist. We learn cold iron in Maleficent is an energy or a substance that is often seen carrying the challenge of being respectful in the connection. This is a sacred union vibration I said a minute ago. Because you're doing this, miss, you're either going on to another career choice. And other people going to go with you. They want to stand by you and go work over here and be happy. This is sweeping your heart up with courage to continue going forward. With professional Some of you, it could be that you just can't work together. You're married, and that's why they were being so mean. I'm going to go work over here, honey, and you can stay here and do what you do, and we can work on our connection in the marriage that way. See? Oh, we gonna get a divorce. The divorce. Yeah. The dreaming, the divine masculine needs to heal from that fallout. Now, this is talking about in our reading yesterday. This is a different divine masculine and feminine. The one, they're over there working out, getting that comic homewrecker out of their coupling over here. I'm talking about a different divine feminine who is married to that person being very toxic right now. But they're showing me that that can change because you were brave enough to, I'm not going to do it like this forever. This was crazy. I knew it was when we started and it didn't work. Wasn't working because it wasn't. And then this one, scapegoating you, it blame twisting you, everything was your and you're like, I'm not doing this. We work together. I'm getting double doses of this, scapegoated at home in the marriage and scapegoated at work in the marriage at work. You seamlessly enter and influence your own dreams. You weren't even dreaming. It was just every night. Go to sleep. Your face was a mask of nerves, bundle of nerves. Fall asleep, gray screen. You weren't even having dreams. Wake up, face numb, same mask of tension. Wasn't like that before you agreed to work together and be married. Both. Now then, Prince of Shadows I feel this is doing difficult work of some of you having to learn to mirror love back because you've been with someone that starved you or breadcrumbed you or deprived you to the point that you're with a different person that doesn't do that. And you've got to smooth all that out in your own skin. It's difficult, but you're mirroring love back. This could be a divine masculine that was with a she-devil, and now you're not with a she-devil, and you're having to rehabilitate yourself so that you can mirror the love that your divine feminine has no problem, sir, giving you. But you're like, your spirit team's like, oh, give it up. Just give it up. Mirror the love back. Just do it. Just do it. It'll feel great. Be brave. Have the courage and do it. What's this one? The Fairy of Youth. You and your co-workers or family members that are co-workers in this situation, I'm seeing this. You woke them up. They're all like little pillars of salt. Couldn't move. Their energies in them were stagnant, like coming and clocking in at work. And they put their little ball and chain on that they have to carry that around while they're waiting tables. You have to carry with a big chain and walk with the chain and carry this while bussing tables. You made them all feel like they remembered when they used to enjoy. Before you know who got too big, their head swelled. And they took over and kind of ruined it for a while. Energetically blurring the difference between the realms, sudden change, subtle change, shapeshifter. Energy deepens the connection between the two of you. The mystery is childlike discovery during this out in public. They They did that to you, to all of you. This person did this to all of you at some point through the years. And everyone they weren't gloating. Everyone stood in their strength and their humility while you spoke your truth, and they stuck up for you. They stepped forward and spoke their truth. Remember all the stuff you make go down the rabbit hole because you do so much to us? So much, all the time. Not anymore. We're not doing it. And we're so happy that Collective stood up to you, and now we're all going to stand up to you. She's right. We are not going back to it. We're not going back to it being like that. And the juggler, that narcissist took on too much and then accelerated it. Overwhelmed themselves, overthinking, overanalyzing, nitpicking. Queen of Laughter, positive and uplifting, divine masculine, divine feminine. You are fluid energies in your own skin. Combined, that's a powerful force that you are unleashing on that narcissistic human being. You show through your highest selves, all of you as a group, a collective, a family unity. It felt really good. How to inspire your souls to attract inspiration and to build good fortune. If you're going to have a job, you said, you should be happy. We were once. We were happy before. We're not doing it like this anymore. Divine feminine energy is filled with potent, that laughter, your laughter, and that's how you did it. He wanted it to be so serious, and you kept you kept laughing. That's not true. This is the truth of what happened in that situation. That was you. It was all you. And you blamed everyone for, you wouldn't take accountability. Well, today you are. And everyone's going, yeah, we remember that. You never took responsibility for it. Are you going to take responsibility now? Oh, they're gobsmacked. The green woman vibration with the Queen of Laughter. Soul touch and energy of happiness and abundance. The bond between the fairy race and the human race, those are magical energies. It was magical. That was the whole point of Maleficent, the Mistress of Evil movie. There was the illusion that the fairies and humankind were separate. Remembrance. You remember who you really are. Some of you are multidimensional. That means you tap into other dimensions in your meditations. Some of you go astrally traveling. The elven means grounded. You were. And if memory serves, the elven being grounded means the elven were made into flesh, metaphorically. This is their myth. By the starlight, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. These are souls that are coming from the stars, as the story goes. This 5 taps into the ways of the fairies and the elves in their mythos. It's a vibration for being or feeling refreshed by expressing yourself with innocence and the use of mature expression and loving it, and the acceptance of one's true nature and love of one's true highest self when dealing with people that are false. They worship their lies. That they're so smart that they can lie to people all the time and manipulate them with the, well, I'm telling you, in your looking at your environment around you, a whole room full of people is the gift of the divine feminine's energy, the wisdom, the grace of Sari Fairy, your fairy godmother, given wallop to your narcissist with decorum and grace. I actually showed this person mercy, and the people standing like, she's doing you a favor. Collective's doing you a favor by bringing all of this to bear. Are you going to see the gift? So the star fairy energy is an elven star vibe. It's a bright symbol for an appropriate connection that is now evolved, a grounded space held for commitment, for actively feeling something as a collective group. Look what you brought to bear, the healing that you brought to bear. Hold on now. So, the temptation was to get into your ego, but your spirit team was tough. This is Tink. You don't mess with that energy. And the song, suddenly it was really intense when this began, like, oh, here we go. Everyone was bracing for same old, but it was different. You stepped in this calm, peaceful, charismatic, not schmoozing like the narcissist, true charisma, being your authentic self and speaking your truth, that I was wrong in the past to tolerate this behavior. But now I'm calling you out on, these are the bullet points. And every time you start in on one person stepped forward. When you got to the second bullet point, 3 or more people stepped in and stood up for you. And this made this toxic tyrannical family member, made them sit down, their knees buckled. I mean, they physically were trembling because you were standing up, and when they were mean as could be, you stepped forward even more and told your truth. You had countermeasures. It was just there. The thief. This is all the thief. This energy is all the things and the joy that you stole from all of us by being this way and treating us and mistreating us. Because you could. Where were we going to go? There's no job security in the world, and we're a family, and you were making, that was our feather in our cap, was that we'd stick up for each other and always have job security. And in the last 6 to 9 months, some people had already left. And you complained about it, that those were the good people that were, and treated us like we were chopped liver. The thief, this is everything that they stole. They stole the souls of everyone that worked there, the clientele, if it was clientele. Or your customers were just there wanting to have a fine meal of Mexican food and cuisine and culture. To soak up the local color. When they go in there, it was a little tense with the staff. And so the business in the last 9 months, 6 months, thank you, Holy Spirit, had been falling off. No matter what your service is. The captive man, all of you felt like you were Tam Lin, and you're all going to be offered up as some kind of tithing to HE double hockey sticks. What is wrong with you? What have you done to our generational wealth, which we're pretty sure, from the way that they've been dressing and spending money like there's no tomorrow, they're pretty sure where the Christmas bonuses went, where the pay raises went. Oh, your family, you've got job security. See, they used that, which was a plus. They turned it into a way to control everybody. The heartless love. And here's the fairy of growth. You did that. You did that. Now let's see if they're going to slide away. Hold on now. What are you telling me? Oh, I see. The title is You Did It, You're on Your Way, and your narcissist's darkest escapades are revealed. This channeled message is not for everyone, but you'll understand. Oh, we're going to get over there in the Divine Feminine. Hold on. You will understand energetically if this tarot enhanced oracle reading is for you. I love you, collective. I'm so happy that you take the time to come and sit here with me. I appreciate you. I owe you a debt of gratitude. You did your best. You did your shadow work. You cleaned up a messy karmic soul tie contract with this narcissistic, distorted masculine or distorted feminine who was a mentor. See, they're not evil. This person, in the beginning, you loved this person. They were a different person, and something happened. They got greedy. They were a mentor who helped you find your self-worth back in the day. And see, you brought this up. This is where they had to sit down because their knees buckled. You hit them in that heart space. Well done. Well done, you. They pushed you to go inward and to keep deep diving into your most authentic version of who you really wanted to be. Before and today you've hit it. Rubber meets road. The divine is celebrating you. You transformed and you lived through an exhilarating metamorphosis. It was scary. It was scary, but you did it. You lived. Your ancestors are exalting your soul's refreshed state of grace and peace and harmony. Kalu. You say a little prayer of gratitude to Sari the fairy from the Froud fairy deck. Okay? Your Sari, your fairy godmother, standing there sustaining you, popping little chalkies, little sweeties in your mouth, and then you'd speak to your narcissist and you'd speak in grace. She'd see that you were starting to maybe get into your ego, and she'd pop another sweetie in your mouth, a Turkish delight, and you became serene and sweet again. You did it, and you're blissfully on your way, and you stuck up for yourself and others, and then they stuck up for you. You could see before when this would come up, and you couldn't get out of this pattern and that numbskull, that dark numbskull, evil-minded relative just was eating it up. Because he could see they wanted to come forward and back you up, and he would just give them a look, and they'd wither. They would wither. They weren't withering today. They were standing strong with you. You stuck up for yourself. So welcome to my channel, 5 Mirror Mirror. Naturally, I will be sharing a channeled message for you. It's also blended with the tarot. And you said you wanted it. Okay, here we go. Now then, this is what my grandmother taught me how to do because she was a Baptist. And in the 60s, for 2 weeks in Texas, she had custody of me for my summer vacation from the land of enchantment. And she wasn't going to miss her Bible study, and she did every day. And she wasn't going to miss her programs, which were these really awful soap operas. I don't know how. They were wretched. Those were her programs. So she told me that when she was in school, she and her sisters, this is what they did so they knew what they were facing before they went to school. They didn't know what it was going to be. And they would each get to, it's my turn. Today's my turn. And that's what we're doing. And they would, between the 3 of them, figure out what they were going to be facing for that day to get through the day using the living word. And that's what we're doing. It's called bibliography. Actually, you can use any religious book, a Quran, a Talmud, I guess there's a book of Tao or something in Buddhism, right? Okay, I feel a stick. I'm feeling it there. Do you hear him? Uncross your legs, Kim. Your ankles are crossed. I'm like, I feel the stick, but why can't I zero in on it? It's right there. And John, the son of Hanani, the seer, went out to meet him and said to King Jehoshaphat, shouldest thou help the ungodly and love them that hate the Lord? Therefore is wrath upon thee from before the Lord. Okay, this is the comeuppance. This was the divine orchestration and retribution. You are the divine orchestration. You spoke your truth. The divine retribution was bringing this person back into being humble. Humble, H-U-M, root word in Latin, humble. Root word in human, hum, human. Got it? Nevertheless, there are good things found in thee. So see, it was a good thing that you stood up and you did this. For everyone, not just your benefit, to get something off your chest, which did feel pretty good. But it's the way that you did it felt extraordinarily wonderful. The grace. There are good things found in thee, Narcissist, in that thou hast taken away the groves out of the land and hast prepared thine heart to seek God. Your words actually got through to this person so that it's going to be different, no more doom and gloom. See, and he set judges in the land throughout all the fenced cities of Judah, city by city. That's every person. As you kept talking, you noticed that more people were standing behind you. They were all in judgment, as your narcissistic person was in a judgment, under a judgment. All of you were being judged. Their higher selves said, be brave, speak your truth, back up, collective. So in your judgment, collective is a group think, which usually went awry, didn't it, before? It would just meld into chaos. Everybody just spitting thumbtacks and nothing being resolved. So, your narcissist, wherefore now let the fear of the Lord be upon you. You can't open a narcissist's heart, but you did manage to crack it open. Very uncomfortable for them to be in a heart space. They do not do self-reflection or self-love. But you doing this, miss, you cracked their heart open. Only they can open their heart. You cracked it open, so they're given the opportunity to do that. I told you on my channel, everybody deserves to win, even the narcissist in growth, in growing their soul. They don't like to grow their soul, but they have to. Take heed and do it. And there is no iniquity with the Lord our God, nor respect of persons, nor taking of gifts. This person saw as everyone stood up, and their righteous anger was to solve problems when this person would have people come in for meetings, and they didn't want to solve any problems. They just wanted to feed off of the power of pitting everyone against everyone and creating drama and chaos, and then wouldn't have to take accountability for their responsibilities in the business going awry. And behold, Amariah the chief priest is over you in all matters of the Lord, and Zebediah the son of Ishmael, the ruler of the house of Judah, for all the king's matters. Also the Levites shall be officers before you. Deal courageously, and the Lord shall be with the good. It was a good thing that you did by, again, it was you or that person's karma, but teaching their soul a lesson. It's not like you were, I'm going to get you. like, like you didn't get revenge. Instead, you chose to be gracious about it. The more you lash out at me, the harder you come at me in front of everybody to see. They expose themselves. And when you've exposed them before, you've been punished for it. Well, you told them to their face in front of everyone. As in the past, when I've exposed you, I wasn't being malicious. You said I was tearing you to shreds. No, I was in my righteous anger. It means I was trying to literally solve a problem with my passion behind it. And you blocked everything. You blocked everything you don't understand. Because we wouldn't fit into your narrow tunnel vision. We dared to not use your tunnel vision to see beyond. We could see the perimeter. We could see what was up ahead. But you wanted us just focused about 7 inches in front of our own nose. We're not doing it anymore. We can't do it. And they all stood behind you. So this was the perfect place needed to squeeze this reading in. Now, haughtiness is a person's in their eyes. Oh, and you are seeing that little daggers if looks could. Yeah. Thankfully they can't. This is enlarging the heart filled with imbalanced pride. This is where the lamp of the wicked is seen as being a sin. When this meeting started, everyone was like, oh, here we go again. But you stood up. You heightened your senses. You're sensitive to your surroundings. That's the first card. You're sensitive to crowds, to noise, or foods, or something on TV, or other human voices, or other stimuli. And it's barely tolerable. You had to address it. You may become overwhelmed easily and become overstimulated easily because you have to get it out. You have to express it because you're leveling up. You're becoming attuned. You know that this restlessness is temporary and it will pass. Proverbs 6:17. Haughty eyes and a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. Metaphorically, that means, like I said, I think that you were family, hereditary, real family members, but through the decades now you had workers, co-workers, vendors, if you're a business, bartenders, bar backs, different teams that did, whatever your service is. I'm just picking that to keep it in context. Your angels and ancestors bring a message of how positive changes do take place to bring you into full alignment in your life purpose. You're going to get to loving your job a bit of a reboot. Your body knows what it needs, so you listen to your body. Hold on. Now then, we have the green woman. We have the remembrance card. I just talked about that. Then we have the green man. This is balancing out. And a high intense, magical, fluid energy that it's not prickly anymore. It's excitement. It's having pep in your step. It's seeing a way forward. It's having a way to move past the shadow and to embrace hope. The juggler. You didn't know you could juggle. Now this is the This causes a surprise of your life. You've done this before and no one stood forward because they were too afraid to. They didn't have the courage until you stepped forward in the here and now. And you made them aware of what was going on around them, whereas they had blinders on or just didn't want to look at it. This is you balancing in a natural way, in an organic way, that you all see moving forward, an organic way to move forward and to really love and put a passion back into what you're doing, the returning to the passions in your life individually, and the Queen of Laughter. Returning to joy, rejoice. Hope springs eternal. In the bottom of Pandora's box, when she opened that box, was hope. It was the last thing scraping the bottom of the barrel of that box in Pandora's story. Queen of Bedlam. That was your toxic person, the joy of the future. I can't show you everything. Joy of the future's all wearing butterfly wings. The Queen of Bedlam. Yes, this was almost no matter what gender they were, we were carrying a very distorted, feminine, not loving, not wise, not giving advice, not taking others under the wing. The Prince of Light and the Elven Knight, taking action to speak your truth in your most authentic self. No matter what your gender was, you were the Prince of Light. Able to shape-shift shadow. The Shadow Prince, is that what you're showing me? To go into other dimensions and actually move shadow around so it doesn't, it doesn't root. It doesn't get established. So the crone, the three phases of the goddess are the maiden. That's our beginning, like spring. Mother would be summer. And then that's the light side of our year that we, agrarian societies grow our food. The crone would be, that is birth in the winter phase, when all things, there's no leaves on the tree because it's too cold. Everything's kind of shut down for the season. Well, you were able to bring light during this meeting. You were able to bring something to bear like never before. And you were the messenger. This is I can't show him because I can show you the crone. All-knowing. Could see that this toxic person just did not want to give up the toxicity, wanted to keep growing it. What? Where? Right there? Out of the dark and into white light. There, teamwork. There, teamwork. What's this one? Another shady black mark or stain. Anger makes people forget the importance of loving kindness. Well, that pretty much describes what I just read for you. You use your most authentic self's behavior to alter state of awareness of a recipient that's your narcissist. And you relax in anticipation, and it moves progression to Congress, to actually getting something done. And everyone's like, this is more like it. We missed this energy. We get to do this again. Kalu, Kalay Collective, we love you. Thank you for snapping us out of it. Actively taking your life back from that feckless person. Get curious about yourself so you can tune into your truths. Be nice to yourself. Kick up those heels. I like fun, but I stand on my personal boundaries and strength. And it worked. You've done it before, but not. You pushed it over the finish line. Calm, confident, assertive, productive, light energies, inner power, protection and healing. Like a spoiled brat makes your skin crawl. And they were being rowdy. You opened a can of whoop on them. Toxic have little ambition. Need for something toxic to end. Protect your self-love with righteous anger. What did I just say? She obviously does this, or he does the same old crap a lot and gets away with it. Full-blown temper tantrum is what this started with, and you came at it with grace. With Sari the fairy godmother, popping little chalkies and sweeties in your mouth. Stood there and acted like a baby. It's always funny when they brood. Spiritual posterity vibration, granted spiritual tools, bestowed to help improve your life, your body, your mind, your soul. Tapped in with access to helpful spirits, angelic forces, nature spirits, your spirit team, your spirit guide. Here's the computer, a way to communicate and connect. Incoming news, logic-based calculation, having access to all the world's knowledge by tapping into your intuition. Activating fields for another tool in your arsenal. God heard that you were unstoppable because you were created to conquer. One who's skeptical and argumentative and extremely critical. If it quacks like a toxic duck, it's a narcissistic person. This is what evil looks like. Don't be like this toxic person. They messed up. Those people are rude beyond belief. That's how it started, too. You're repelling that negativity on every level to isolate or shield you from unexpected outbursts of a narcissist. He or she should be embarrassed at their disgusting behavior. There's this thing called human decency. Look at me vibe. So people pay attention to you. People will be attracted to you, miss. And you're a maiden, feeling like you're 12 years old. People like he or she are so horrible. He or she was reaching. What? The loss of your connection, the loss of your good love is now haunting this person. Now that's for some of you. You aren't in business together. You're married to someone, and you told them the truth is there's no sense in us trying to continue this because there's no communication. There is nothing left in this connection to revive, to refresh, and we need to face reality that it's coming to an ending, and it's how we bring that about. Is it going to be horrible, or is it going to be amicable, or is it going to be somewhere in between? This person feels trapped by whatever they did with a karmic lover or did for greed. It could be both. Your person's caught in a blatant lie. Use caution, use discernment. Evil cast out. Toxic suffers loss of profession, loss of money, and they have financial anxiety. It's why they were fighting all of you so hard. And it was like, if you decide that you need to go, then go. But if you stay, it can't be like this. You have to work with us and not against us. Same thing if it's coming to, we have to go get a mediator, and we both have to agree to file for divorce together in order to bring closure to this. So, the fairy of growth. 5 of Swords. That person, in a good way, was defeated. All hell broke loose. They thought they were in a protective bubble. They weren't. Everyone here stepped forward to back you up. That's the 7 of Wands. 5 of Swords. Ace of Swords. You spoke your truth. Everyone stepped forward and shared. Some of them are going to go anyway. I'm happy, we came to an agreement, but some of them are going to go anyway. They've had enough. 8 of Cups. Here you are, miss. Queen of Cups was Sari, the fairy godmother. You did it. You do have the best love. You're able to bullet point 8 little bullet points. 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Cups is, everyone being able to be up where they should have been a long time ago. Happy in their passions, in their work, in their lives. Because it was screwing up their personal lives too. What? Yeah, everyone in this situation, even the narcissist, knows. And this person could just decide, this is where I'm going to pull back, and I'm going to just ride into the sunset. Let him see what it's like without me here. Let him try and be successful. Let him. If they want to ride off into the sunset, you let him. But you all are deciding that you've got a whole world of things to do in front of you, and that you all spent too much time putting up with this nonsense when there was no reason for it. King of Wands. There's everything being restored to you, miss, in your own skin. What I say, I mean, and what I mean, I say. If we're going to turn this business around and have it flourish, then we're going to have to do this. If I say what I mean and mean what I say, I go get a mediator. We go sit down and figure out our responsibilities and obligations, and then we're calling it a day. Because that's best for everyone, especially if you have children. This is best for everyone. They are not going to see it that way, but you're saying that if we stand in agreement and we're mature about this, it doesn't have to be as painful. It's still going to hurt. But it doesn't have to stay the way it is now. So, let me get over here and see. Let me see what I did. I shall love you. Well, for me, that's pretty good, you think? Well, collective. What are these? Oh, there's that Prince of Shadows. Reconciling the shadow. Being able to compartmentalize the shadow, process it, and move it on its way. That's the narcissist. However a toxic person is able to heal themselves with their limitations now. The hero. This is a way for your narcissist to change. It's not being so mean-spirited, let's say, and staying focused on working with instead of against others, that they can grow. They can grow into being the hero that they see themselves as being, because I told you, when this began with this person, maybe it was just you and this person, they were a mentor. But I'm seeing it in a group setting that they've been a mentor to a lot of you, your sisters, your brothers, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, everybody. You know, for decades, it's all we knew as little children. We're going to go to the restaurant and We have to be good while they're setting up for the evening rush, whatever that is. We're children. So they have, if they grow, they can supersede whatever image that they hold of themselves that they try to live up to. They have a different version of themselves as a hero that they can live up to. It's not just the legend in their own, right? The big behind, I can't show you that, and the sorcerer. This is the alchemy that you performed, miss. So that was your reading. I thank you so much for coming and spending time with me. We're getting up there. The library's starting to grow. So we'll just keep doing it this way. But I want you to go out there and you have a really great day.